Hello and welcome to another episode of Life with Liv. It's week 9 and it's the second part of week 9. Let's go. So, number 5, signs and signals from life is there all the time. What does Peter mean? It's like when we're driving on a road, there are these two lines on the outside of the road, and they are called rumble strips. And when you drive too far out in the side, it starts being really noisy. It's like shaking the car. That's a rumble strip. And these rumble strips are there to tell you something is wrong. You should go more towards the middle of the road because you are driving off the road. And this is very important. You're driving off the road. Same thing with life, according to Peter. You're driving down your road, and once you're starting to drive off the road, the rumble strip will come. Some kind of event will happen in your life to tell you that you're getting off the path, off your path. For instance, you could be not taking very well care of your health. You end up having a health disease or a stroke, or it's getting hard to walk up the stairs to your apartment if you live in an apartment or your house. Maybe all of a sudden you can't lift your child anymore because you're not strong enough, or your back is hurting so much because you aren't taking care of yourself. These are rumble strips. And they are there to tell you, wake up, change something, do something. You can. This is from life telling you, let's put some more love into your health. Do I have an example for myself? Oof. Well, a very small example. Sometimes when I talk too much, I get pain in my throat. It's a sign that I'm not using my voice correctly. And so I want to invest more time in learning how to use my voice in a way that is better for my body, better for my vocal cords. Yeah. It could also be at some point I got a fungus, and that was a sign that I was eating too much sugar. Maybe it was also that I was too stressed about something, that I had to let go a bit more of things. And so I tried to listen, and now it's better. What else? I don't know. Maybe you have some kind of story that you would like to share. I would love to hear about it. Please write in the comment. What are the rumble strips in your life? What are you doing where life tells you, hey, you're getting a little bit off track. Let's get you on track again. What tends to happen is that people turn on the volume. So like if you're driving in a car and you hit the rumble strip, the metaphor would be you turn up the volume of the music that you're listening to so that you don't hear the rumble strip, so that you don't hear what life is trying to tell you. And then you just keep on doing what you're doing. It could be someone who is eating a lot of McDonald's and then they get a small stroke. And they just continue eating a lot of McDonald's until what? they die. I mean, this is life telling you, hey, this is not healthy what you're doing, let's change that. If you want to continue life, if you want to continue driving down the road and not off the road and fall off a cliff. Yeah. Then Peter is saying this very challenging thing. It's super challenging to hear this. If you get a disease, mental disease, health disease, like cancer, for instance, he is saying or asking us to ask the question, what does it take for me to make this my friend? I think this is really tough. My dad just died from cancer, and you know, we have this tendency to be like, it's a disease, so we have to fight it. For instance, we fight it with chemo, we fight it with radiation and so on, and we have this language around it that's just like, how can we kill this thing, and it's like an enemy. And what Peter is saying is try to challenge us to see this as a friend. It's a rumble strip. It's life telling you something is not like it's supposed to be. With my dad, it was certainly that, well, he'd been smoking his whole life. He died of lung cancer, right? It makes sense. If you smoke your whole life or in other ways compromise your health, life will kill you, or that thing will kill you. Yeah. And we all tried to tell him to stop smoking, but he didn't listen, and I mean, I'm not the one to judge if that's why it happened or anything. I'm also not blaming him at all. It's just, yeah, if we try to entertain the thought that getting cancer is a rumble strip, then I can see how getting cancer for him the first time, which is 5 years ago, was a way, his body's or life's way to tell him, you have to change. He survived that cancer, but he didn't. If we still continue in this universe, I guess he didn't make enough changes to not get the cancer again. Yeah, well, tough subject. And I will ask a really hard question of you too. Is there something in your life, a disease or something that maybe until now you have seen as something you needed to fight, that in any way would be possible to make a friend instead? To be like, wow, I am grateful because this thing is telling me what I need to change, or that I need to change so that I can become a happier, more fulfilled person. And ever since my dad got so sick and died, I try to do the things that speak to me, the things that feels right, instead of doing a job out of need for money or because someone else thinks it's a good idea, but instead listen. And my mission is to live a fulfilling and happy life and listen to those rumble strips. And yeah, getting so close to death and seeing someone pass away who's so close to you kind of does that, I guess. At least for me, that's how I can honor that. Yeah. So he's saying, like, what feedback is it there to give you? Because it's there to give you feedback, right? And then he's asking us to surrender so that you can see and hear these rumble strips. And so you can see and hear the truth. And then let go of looking for it. People are so focused on looking for the truth and so busy that when truth comes knocking on the door, you say, hey, go away, I'm busy, I'm looking for the truth, and it will go away. And he's saying that the truth is within you. You already have it. And so it's this paradox of, if you're looking for it, that means that you don't already have it, but you do. So you can stop looking. Yeah, I can stop looking. I should talk to myself here. I already have it. Okay, let's move on. Number 6, to become. That's like how to become anything you want to become. And it's he's saying, don't do what you think you need to do. Just be you. And you don't get rich when you get money in the bank. You get money in the bank when you get rich. It's again this, that when you feel rich, life will follow. And then Peter tells this story, it's quite a good story, that he was trying to get verified as a trainer for Tony Robbins. And he did all the right things, right? And he did all the things that were asked for him, and thought now he would get promoted to become a trainer, and it had just stayed like that for forever, and he got so frustrated. And one day he was just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't need that jacket, that trainer jacket, to be a trainer. I will just be a trainer. And then he was a trainer, and for the next event he got promoted. He became the trainer, and that's when he got the jacket. And it's a bit the same, like, become the thing you want, or the person you want to be, or that trainer you want to be, or that mother, or whatever, and then you will get the recommendation, no, it will be seen. Then another thing was that he thought his struggle when he was a trainer, that his struggle was significance, that he was struggling with wanting to feel significant and had this ego. But then he realized that it was not about significance, it was about approval. And he says, please, for the love of God, someone tell me I'm good enough. That's what he was feeling. Please, for the love of God, tell me that I'm good enough. It's the basic fear of all humans, to not be good enough. And once he realized that, he was able to turn it around and feel good enough, realize that he was good enough, that he didn't need the external validation. And it's quite funny because I really relate to this, that like I always thought my biggest struggle is this significance. I want to feel significant, and I do feel significant, which also puts me on the outside and give me great loneliness. But I am quite sure I'm just like Peter, that it's really based on not feeling like I'm good enough and wanting someone to recognize that. And if I am super significant, better than others, then I must be good enough, right? Ugh, bullshit. Let me know if you can relate. Write in the comment. Do you also struggle with feeling good enough? If so, know that you're born good enough. Everyone is. Then he says that it's really, really the best lesson of all that you can teach yourself is being okay with not being liked. If someone doesn't like you, it is their insecurities. It's not about you. That's the same thing as I said earlier, that when people say something about me, it's not about me, and if you feel compassion for them, if you come from love, then you'll be just fine. Yeah, so try to be okay with not being liked, and you can be way more authentic, and that's way more likable. Another thing is to be open, to have one belief about something until there's a new one. It's really okay to be wrong, and it's really good to just stick to something and truly believe it, truly go for it. And then you know that when you are 40 or 60 or 80, you will be thinking something else, and maybe the thought you were thinking before was wrong, and that's okay. This kind of relates to the next thing, which is about how to live with uncertainty, number 7. We're all drawn towards certainty because we have not learned to live with uncertainty. We've not learned that we are perfectly capable and fine living with uncertainty. So we crave certainty. We haven't learned that we are good enough, and therefore we crave this certainty. We're also really attracted to people who are feeling way more certain. But you can live in uncertainty and feel comfortable, because life is full of uncertainty. There's practically nothing you can be certain of, except dying, maybe. Yeah. And then someone said, he's quoting something, I might be wrong, but I am never in doubt. I go, and if I am wrong, I go another way. And I think this is such a good thing for me to hear. Let me know if it's also a good thing for you to hear. I may be wrong, but I am never in doubt. So it's like, I feel like doubt and uncertainty rules so many of my decisions, holds me back so much. But if I'm thinking, I may be wrong, but I am not in doubt, just make those decisions, make those jumps, just do it. If you're wrong, you can do it again, do it different. But the worst is, is not to do it, right? That's how I feel. The worst is not to do it, to not do it. We have to. I may be wrong, but I'm never in doubt. I love it. Okay. And then he talks about how religions, they offer these stories, and we many people get caught on that just can't be true, all of these things, it's so fake and it doesn't sound real at all. But maybe there is a truth in the story, maybe it's just a metaphor, and maybe there is something that we can learn in that way. And that's the same thing Peter he does. He uses a lot of metaphors, and that's how the brain learns the best. Like if you use a metaphor, you connect it to something that the brain already knows, and that's make the understanding process and learning process a lot faster. So it's really smart. What are the areas that you are avoiding and why? So Peter he says that there are some games in life that you have to play. For instance, health. It's not a choice whether you want to grow older or not. We will grow older. I will grow older, and so if I don't take care of my health, that will show, that will have a consequence. And so it's like, if you don't play the game will play you. And that is regarding to health, relation, and money. Yeah. If you don't get in the game of money, you will never be fully financially independent or feeling abundant, and probably struggling. Like, I have definitely been struggling for most of my life in terms of money so far. Still think I have to do some internal shifts to really make it work completely or fully for me. But I am definitely playing the game now. I got into the game, the money game, the health game, and the relation game. Trying to create nourishing, loving relations to other people. I reached out to someone else from the program, USM, and I am so, so grateful to have met this unique, beautiful person, and to have someone to talk to who is also going through some of the same things that I am and learning. And I can't wait for more. Hopefully I will meet even more people in the future. And yeah, just I dare you to ask yourself the question, what are you avoiding and why? And if you want to share it in the comments, that would be super welcome. And also, how are you playing the game of health? How are you playing the game of relationships or relation to other things, people, anything? And how are you playing the game of money? I think it's super important. I could talk a whole hour probably about this, but I will move on. Number 8 is, what am I disowning and how to deal with wrongdoings. So as Peter says, I can't put my model on others. I have no right to. I think we all have this tendency to feel like the way I see the world, the way I understand the world is the one right way to see everything, and we want to convince other people to see it the same way or act in the same ways that we do. And honestly, I had to learn that I have no right to do so, and especially if I don't understand the person's actions. Like, you have to put yourself in the shoes of another person, and once you do, mostly you find compassion and understanding, and then there's no need for judgment. In general, I think the world is a better place without judgment. So I try a lot. I work very much on not judging. and he's asking this question: what is it about them that I am not accepting in myself? Meaning that there is a disowned part that you're not that you're avoiding or not inviting into your life, or I would not invite into my life. For instance, if someone is using their money wrong, I do like that, because there is really not any right or wrong. It's just your opinion that you shouldn't, or my opinion that someone should try not to use more money than what they have, and get into debt and make minus debt grows every month. I think that's not a very wise way of living or playing the money game. Or I definitely wish for this person to play differently. I am believing that they would feel better if they had a plus. But I have no right to go into this person's life and say that they're doing things wrong or teaching them how to do it. And I have no right to judge them as stupid or incompetent. Yeah, maybe they are unintelligent about money or finances right now, but that's okay, and that's their journey that they have to do. And the only thing I can do is I can be an example, and I can be a lighthouse. I can invite this person to learn from me. I can show them that there is a different way of doing it, and hopefully they will want to learn, but they have to do the learning, and there's no need to push people into things when they aren't ready. They will when they are ready, so I really, really, really am taking this note to me that I have to be an example, not actively trying to push or manage people or guide them in a certain way, but instead let people come to me and ask questions and just show that you can live happily and learn, and with these learnings there is a lot of joy to find. Okay, that was a little off track, yes. But this is also how to deal with wrongdoing. So if someone is doing something that's uncomfortable for you, I mean, I had an experience on the street last year, I think. A lady, I was wearing a pair of shorts and a bikini top because I was going swimming. And this lady was somehow finding that not okay. I was on the street on my way to the train station, and I stopped by a place to get some food. And she just started cursing at me, swearing, using some really nasty words about me, to me. And she was clearly very uncomfortable somehow. And at that time, I was not studying USM, and I found it really difficult, and I felt really attacked, and I was very uncomfortable. I didn't say anything to her, I just ignored her, and then I went into the shop and ordered the food that I wanted. But I think now, with the tools that I have now, I would be able to see that in order to act like that, if I had to act like that, I would have a really bad day, and I would be feeling horrible in my life in general. I would not be a very happy person. I wouldn't live a fulfilling, happy life that I wish to, and when I think about that, like what it would take for me to be like that, and then I imagine how bad she must be feeling, because I would need to feel so bad, then I can feel compassion for her. And it takes everything away from me. It really is this realization that it has nothing to do with me. It's maybe I triggered something, but but I can stop feeling attacked because it's obviously that she's living a life that I don't want, that I don't wish to live, and I also don't wish that for her. And I just start feeling compassion. And I think that's so amazing to get to that point where people just can't touch you anymore. And you can just see the suffering instead and feeling for them, and maybe even send a little love their way. I think that's super beautiful, and that is the way I wish the world to be, so I will be like that. And I hope others will join me. Will you join me? That would be amazing. Okay, so now Peter comes with a very hard example, and this might trigger a lot of people. Behold, this is a hard topic. He's saying, if we're talking about an abuser, for instance, someone who's abusing someone else, and you're saying, okay, that is triggering me. I'm not okay with that. Clearly, I'm not okay with that, me personally. And then comes this question, okay, so what part of me am I not comfortable with being abusive? What a tough question. What part of me am I not comfortable with being abusive? No part of me. I hate the thought that I'm abusive. But the thing is, Peter says, in the dictionary, there is no word that describes the human being that you haven't been at some point. And half of these words are positive and half of these words are negative, so to say. And in a journey where you want to become whole, where you're striving for completeness, you cannot just disown half of yourself, meaning all the negative words like abusive, asshole, whatever, all the words we don't want to really connect to. But if you want to be whole, you must accept, I must accept, that I have also been abusive. I have also been hateful. I have also been an ass. I've also been evil. And when someone else triggers you, it's because some disowned part of you, is disowned. And definitely with abusers, I think we can all say that we don't like to be or accept that we have been abusive ourselves at some point, so we get triggered by that a lot. And it is not to say that it's okay to be abusive. It is not. It is not to agree with the person's choice of abusing someone. But it is to find understanding for people's actions and to see that they are running a pattern, that there's a reason. And in that way, take away some judgment. I think this is a really tough thing in general, and it's tough to talk about, and I wish to say more about it in the future, maybe when I have even better words to describe what he means. But I think it is super beautiful to and very hard task to own everything that you are, including abusive. Okay, I will move on. The final questions, which is number 9. They asked Peter what books he have been gifting, and he said The Richest Man in Babylon to the money people, raving fans for people in who wants to do better service or marketing, And then power versus force if you're more interested in self-development. And he says that this one, power versus force, is a must read. Yeah. His song is Titanium. This is the one he makes like his mind map, and until the song Titanium, they asked him, what person would you like to be your right-hand man? Like if you were the king and you had your best advisor, and his answer would be Yoda, which is really cool, or Nelson Mandela. Same question for you. Which book have you given the most? Second question, who would you choose to be your right hand? Third question, who would you like to have as a helping hand? He says Mother Teresa. And then what does he do in dark times? Go out through me, by me, or appreciate the deeper laying things. So you can force things through with by me, or you can appreciate the deeper layers of things and try to answer things with love instead of fear. And how did he come to success, and how would he advise other people to come to success, is just to be driven by what you feel is right. Even if some people think that what you're doing is wrong, or you meet a lot of resistance, if you can feel that it's right, you must do it and go through it with it, and that will give fulfillment, and eventually people will see that you're doing something good. So like trust in your instincts, trust in your gut. Yeah. But the question to you, what are your instincts? What right hand would you choose? And how can you choose love more? Love you all. That's it for now. Bye.